Yes, so now already 20 participants have joined. So let's start the session. So if you remember, yesterday we were discussing about the concept of inheritance. So can anyone tell me what do you mean by inheritance? What we can do to apply inheritance in Java? How many different types are there? What is the difference? Anyone? Or again, let me pick few people, those who are not replying, because um, Priya Wala, are you there? Priya? Kirtan, are you there? Kirtan Morwadia? Moradia? Yes, Kirtan. So what do you mean by inheritance? Okay.
Sir, can I?
No, no. Let me just pick the people who are not responding. Varsil, are you there? Raicha Varsil? Ronak Solanki, are you there? Ronak?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, what do you mean by inheritance? Arpit, are you there? Arpit Bhimani?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what do you mean by inheritance? Can you tell me?
Inheritance. No idea, sir.
Very good. So why you don't have any idea about inheritance? Then why you are attending sessions? For attendance? Yes, Nilay, Chotalia Nilay, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so can you tell me what do you mean by inheritance?
Inheritance means એટલે સર એક ક્લાસની મેથડ બીજા ક્લાસ એક ક્લાસની વેલ્યુ બીજા ક્લાસમાં આપણે લઈ શકીએ યુઝ કરી શકીએ.
So what do you mean by value?
વેલ્યુ એટલે સર આપણે કાંઈ મેથડ હોય એની અંદર એ બધી આપણે આમાં બીજા ક્લાસમાં યુઝ કરી શકીએ.
Okay, great. So it is not value, it is properties. Fine. See, those who are
Okay,
not replying makes your attendance is not getting counted. Again, I am saying when you will see the attendance report, then you will get surprised. Even though you will attend all the sessions, I will not mark your attendance. Fine. Every day I am taking note of it. So those who are not replying, you need to worry about your attendance. This is what I am saying.
सर
And ultimately it will.
कीर्तन
Yes.
सर कीर्तन ने चैट में आंसर दिए है, उसका माइक नहीं चल रहा है ऐसा बोल
Yeah,
रहा
yeah,
है.
that I have. Yes, yes, I have gone through it. I have gone through it. So those who are not replying, surely it is going to be a problem for you as far as attendance and marks are concerned. So again, I'm saying to attend all the sessions, it is not that you are attending the session. Ultimately, you need to respond me so that even I can enjoy, because one-way delivery, no faculty would like to deliver the sessions, and it is up to you only.
Hello,
Yeah.
sir.
So now let us start the session. Yes.
सर हमें हमारी अटेंडेंस चेक करनी है तो कहाँ पर कर सकते हैं?
Now you can check your attendance through ERP also. We have uploaded attendance in ERP. You can do login in ERP and you will be able to see the attendance for all the subjects.
Sir, yesterday only I opened ERP, but there was no column for any attendance. I could not find.
यस सर, नो रिकॉर्ड बता रहा है.
So do you find that attendance module or not?
सर कॉलम ही नहीं दिख रहा अटेंडेंस का.
सर कॉल्यूम वो मॉड्यूल दिखा रहा है, उसके अंदर ऐसा दिखा रहा है कि नो रिकॉर्ड. ऐसा वो पहले लास्ट वीक की है, इस वीक की नहीं है.
या इस वीक की अभी आज हो जाएगी, क्योंकि एवरी सैटरडे वी आर प्लानिंग टू एंटर अटेंडेंस फॉर एंटायर वीक, सो दैट्स व्हाई मोस्टली यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू फाइंड इट. Fine. So by tomorrow you will get all the attendance till now. Yeah, so now let us start the session. So can anyone tell me what do you mean by inheritance? Now the question is open to all.
सर एक ऑब्जेक्ट होता है, उसकी प्रॉपर्टी दूसरे ऑब्जेक्ट को एक्सेस कर सकते हैं.
Yeah, so if you want to access the properties of one class into another class, then always we can use inheritance. Fine. And that properties could be either variables, it could be methods or anything. Fine. Whatever we want to access in subclass, for that we need to go with inheritance. So can anyone tell me how many types of inheritance are there? If you talk about Java, then how many different types of inheritance are available?
सिंगल
हाइब्रिड, hierarchy, single, multi-level,
Okay.
और एक था
मल्टीपल.
सॉरी
Correct. See, if you talk about Java, then a single level inheritance is there, then multi-level, then hierarchical and hybrid. As far as Java is concerned, multiple inheritance is not supported by Java, and I have explained why it is not supported in Java, because we cannot extend more than one classes, and at the same time we cannot define same class within the same file with same name. So that's why multiple inheritance is not supported by Java. And so far if you have any doubt, then tell me, otherwise today we are going to implement all the types. Yes.
સર હાયરાર્ચી એક્સપ્લેન કરજો ને એકવાર.
Okay. Let me just share the screen. See, this is known as hierarchical. Whenever you will get a kind of tree structure, let's say I'm having one class, below that class let's say I'm having two class, two or more could be there. Here also let's say I'm having more classes, something like this. Here also I may have n number of classes. So here if I want to access the properties of one class, let's say this is class A, this is class B, and this is class C. So if I want to access the properties of A into class B and into class C, then it is obviously it is possible, because let's say I want to access the properties of A into B and C. So I can write class B extends A and class C extends A. It is possible. Similarly, let's say here also there are more classes. Let's say D, one class is E, other one is F. So if I want to access the properties of class B into D, E and F, I can do it by writing class D extends B, then class E extends B, class F extends B. Similarly, if I want to access the properties of C into all three, then also I can do it by using class D extends C, E extends C and F extends C. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
So whenever you will get this kind of tree structure, then it is known as hierarchical. Yes.
सर वो अभिषेक बोल रहा था अंदर ले लीजिए उसको.
Okay, I have added. See, people are coming and going, so it is not easy for me also. Okay, but I have done it. Yeah, so Gautam, are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So this is known as hierarchical inheritance, when you will get a kind of tree structure from one class. See, you are accessing the properties into two or more. It could be two classes, three classes, four classes, whatever. But whenever you will find this kind of tree structure, then always it is known as hierarchical. It's a kind of hierarchy. Fine. So now let us start to implement all types of inheritance one by one. So let me start with single level. Say class single level inheritance, and let me define main method. Now, as you know, for single level, there must be two classes only. There will be only one level. From one superclass, we can access the properties into subclass. So let me create one class. Let's say class A. Let me define few properties. Let's say integer A is 10, B is 20. Let me implement one method also. Public void print. Print is called. Let me go with one more class, which is, let's say, class B. And here let me go with one variable, which is C equal to 30. So now what I want to do, I want to apply single level inheritance, where out of two classes I want to make one class as a superclass and other class as a subclass. So let's say I want to make class A as a superclass and class B as a subclass. So inside this class B, I want to access the properties which are defined in class A. So what I will do, in main I will create the object of class B only, and using the object of class B, I want to access all the properties of class A also. So what do you think for that? Do we need to apply inheritance? I don't want to create object of class A, but
सर
still I
ऐसा
want to access
क्लास बी मैंने
the
लिखा है.
sorry.
आप बोल लीजिए सर, बाद में बोलता हूँ.
Yeah, I have done it. I want to access the properties of class A into class B. That's it, without creating object of class A. So what should I do now?
क्लास बी के पास लिखेंगे क्लास बी एक्सटेंड्स क्लास ए.
हाँ.
Very good. Correct. So we will write like this: class B extends class A. So by using this extends keyword, I can say I have applied inheritance for both the classes. So I have established the relationship. So now my class B is subclass and class A is the superclass. So now I don't need to create object of class A to access all the properties. Simply by creating object of class B, I can access properties of class B as well as class A because inheritance is applied. So now let me just create the object of class B. Class B equal to new class B. And using this object, let me print ob dot a ob dot b and ob dot c. Similarly, let me call ob dot print. So what do you think? What will be the output when I will execute this file?
सर 3 बार
10,
print is
20.
called.
Sorry, 3 बार print is called. How?
नहीं सॉरी सर, वो नहीं होगा, print थोड़ी बुला रहा हूँ.
Yeah. See, I am
10,
just trying to print
20,
the
30.
value of all the variables. ob dot a 10, 20, 30. Then
Print
10
is called.
फिर print is called वो.
this one print is called.
Yes.
Correct.
Last में.
So see, I am creating object of, yes, I am creating object of class B only, and using that object I am trying to access the value of variable A. So inside class B you cannot find variable A, but still what it will do, if the variable is not available in this class, it will check whether this class extends any other class. So yes, class B is extending class A, so it will go to class A, it will try to find variable A. If it is there, it will display the value. So A variable is there in class A, so you will get 10. Similarly, same case is for B. B is not defined in C. B is not defined in class B, but due to inheritance, we can access the property in from class A also. So I will get 20. Then ob.c, it is defined in class B only, so we will get 30. And then ob.print. So again, ob is the object of class B. So compiler will try to find print method in class B where the method is not there. And as inheritance is applied, it will check for the same method in superclass also, where it will find this method. And this method will get execution, and we will be able to get this output. So it should give 10, 20, 30, and print is called. Let's try. Let me run this file. So I'm getting a 10, 20, 30, and print is called. So simple, I have applied inheritance for two classes only. So as there is one level, this type is known as single level inheritance. Fine, is it fine? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Great. Now let me save this file with multi-level. So now what I will do, instead of two classes, let me go with more classes. Class C, let me go with 4 classes only. So as you remember, for multi-level we may have more number of levels. Fine, every time we can refer the properties of superclass into subclass. So if I am having 4 classes and if I apply inheritance with all 4 levels, then what I can say? I can say that from class A I can access all the properties in class B. Similarly, if class C is extending B, then I can access all the properties in C also. If D extends C, then I can access all the properties of class C into class D. So everywhere I can access the properties. So now what I will do, I will put few properties in every classes. So let me define one method here also. Public void display display is called. Similarly, in class C, let me go with few methods or few properties. Here, let me go with D. D is 40. Let's say
सर
this
एक
is
डाउट है मुझे
show method. Yes, बोलो.
सर हम लोग C++ में जब क्लास बनाते थे तब हमें ये सारे इंटीजर्स वगैरह को पब्लिक नहीं करना पड़ता था पहले से, तो सर जावा में ये आइडेंटिटी
yes.
ये सब पब्लिक ऑलरेडी है, आप वो प्राइवेट में नहीं होगा?
See, in the beginning, I have said there are 4 access specifiers in Java. Fine. No access specifier is also there, which is known as default access specifier. So as I said, I have not completed that topic. So as of now, you may have a little bit confusion. So here, ultimately, see, this variable is not private. This is public only. Fine. But if you don't write anything, then by creating object, you can do it. But if you make it private, then even by creating object also, you cannot do it. So default access specifier and public access specifier, both are almost similar, but minor difference is there, and that I will cover when I will teach that topic. As of now, I don't want to make confusion. So as of now, you can consider that this is a kind of public access specifier. It is not public, but you need to assume that it is public. Otherwise, it is default. It is no access specifier. Fine. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So now what I have done, I have created 4 classes. You can see class A, in which I have initialized 2 variables and 1 method. In class B, 1 variable C is there, which I have defined. 1 method is there, which is display. In class C, I have defined 1 variable, 1 method. In class D also, I have defined 1 variable and 1 method. Let's say add. So you can say I am having more number of classes. So I can say I am having more number of levels, and that is why it is known as multi-level. So what I will do, from every classes, I will try to access the properties. From class A, I will access properties in class B by using this. So now, for example, if I want to access all the properties of class B into class C, what should I do?
Extends class B. Class C પૂરું થાય.
Correct. I need to write class C extends class B. Great. Similarly, if I want to access properties of class C into class D, then what I will write? I will write extends class C. That's it. So you can say I have applied inheritance with all the classes, and that is why it is known as multi-level inheritance. So using the single object of class D, I can access properties of class D, C, B, and A. I can access all the properties by creating the single object. Fine. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And you can do like this also. If you don't want to create the object of class D, or let's say you don't want to access any properties of class D, then by creating the object of class C only, you can access the properties of C, B, and A. Similarly, by creating object of class B, you can access the properties of class A and class B. So it depends on the level which object you are creating. Accordingly, it will try to access the value. But here I am applying inheritance with all the classes. So by creating the object of class D only, I can access all the properties, and that we are going to see. So now what I will do here, I will just create an object of class D. Let me just create the object class D ob equal to new class D. Using this single object, I will call all the properties, or I will access all the properties. So let me first go to the properties of class D, where there is 1 variable and 1 method. So what I will do, I will print one statement to print the value of that variable. ob dot e. Likewise, I may have all the variables. I have tried to print value of variables a, b, c, d, and e using the same object. Now let me call all the methods: ob dot add, ob dot show, ob dot print, display. Add is there in class D, then show is in C, display is in B, and print is in A. Yeah, so now what do you think? Will I get access of all the properties by doing this, or will I get any compilation error? What do you think?
सर एक्सेस हो पाएगी?
Okay, so how many of you are agree with this?
Sir, me.
By doing this, I am saying that I will be able to access the properties of all classes.
Yes.
Okay, so mostly you are agreed. Yeah, so let me just run this file. You are right this time. Multi-level inheritance, and let me run this file. So you can see I'm getting a value of all the variables 50, 40, 30, 20, and 10, and I'm able to access all the methods: add, show, print, and display. So even though methods are defined in different classes and I'm not creating the object of those classes, those methods are not declared with static keyword, but inheritance is applied everywhere. So using inheritance only I am able to access all the properties. So I can say in class D I am able to access the properties of class C, class B, and class A due to multi-level inheritance. So this is an example of multi-level inheritance. Is it fine? Any doubt in this?
नो सर, बट सर अगर
Right.
आप क्लास से एक्सटेंड्स क्लास डी कर दोगे तो क्या होगा? सब कर
Class
सकते
A
हैं
extends.
क्लास
Yes,
डी?
yes, why not?
ये
Class
भी
D
मल्टी
like
लेवल
this.
में आया? हाँ.
Correct. This is also an example of multi-level.
Okay,
So
sir.
in this case, what will happen? Even though I'm creating the object of class A, it can access the properties of class D. It's very simple. So
Okay,
using
sir.
the object of both the classes, you can access the property of both the classes. That's it. Otherwise, you can do like this also. Now we will see hybrid or hierarchical. Yeah, let me go with hierarchical first.
सर बाय द वे आपने क्लास का सी छोटा नहीं लिखा है?
Sorry.
आपने क्लास बनाए तो हर एक में आपने क्लास है, क्लास भी लिखा है, सबका सी छोटा नहीं है?
Correct. It was the mistake, but as it was in each and every classes, so I just made a mistake because I need to remove it from everywhere. That's why I didn't do any changes. You're right. It must be capital letters, but as it is user defined, it is not an issue. Fine, but for all the inbuilt classes, it must be capital letters. Otherwise, you will get compilation error. But it is user defined, so you can go with small letter also, but that is not a good practice. We need to write in capital letters only. But that mistake I did, and I was knowing it, but I later on I came to know, so I didn't do changes. Now next one is hierarchical inheritance. See, before hierarchical, let me just introduce multiple also, which is not supported. So as I was saying, you cannot do like this. Let me just remove this thing. You cannot do like this: class, then class C extends class A comma class B. Yesterday I was saying that you cannot do that, but let me just show you what error it will give. C. Class C extends class A comma class B, which is not a valid way of extending the classes. So that's why it is not. And here also I just removed the bracket. That's why I was getting two errors. Now only one error will be there. You can see. It says that bracket is expected after this class A. So that's why you cannot extend more than one classes. And similarly, I cannot do like this also. Class C extends class A, and if I do class C extends class B. Now I have defined same class with same name in same file, which is also not valid. You can see I'm getting an error which is duplicate class. Fine, so that's why multiple inheritance is not supported in Java. You cannot create class with same name, and you cannot extend more than one classes. So that is why it is not possible to achieve multiple inheritance in Java. Now let me talk about hierarchical inheritance. So let me go with this kind of structure. So what we will do, let me go with this portion only. Let me go with 3 classes only. So what I will do, I will create 3 classes and I will try to access the properties of class A into class C, and that's it. So let me create 3 classes. Let us remove this. Yeah, so in class A there are 2 variables and 1 method. In class B again there are 2 things. In class C also there are 2 things. So now what I will do, can anyone tell me, to achieve hierarchical inheritance, what should I do now? I want to access properties of class A into class B and C. So what should I do now?
क्लास सी में डायरेक्ट एक्सटेंस ए डाल दो कीवर्ड,
Okay. Then
और बी में भी एक्सटेंस ए क्लास ए.
correct. This is what we can do. We can create different classes, but we can extend same class, but we cannot extend more classes. So all the conditions are getting satisfied. So by doing this, I can say I am able to access the properties of class A into class B and into class C. So if I create the object of class B, then also I can access the properties of class A. And if I create the object of class C, then also I can access all the properties of class A. So now what I will do, I will create the object of class B and class C, and using both the objects, I will try to access the properties of A. And if I'm able to do it, then we can say we have achieved hierarchical inheritance. So let me create object of class B and C. And let me create object of class C also. Now what I'm doing, let me access all the properties. OB, let me first print the value of all the variables. You need to carefully look at this code and you need to give an answer. I'm using ob1.a, ob1.b, ob1.c and d. I want to access ob2.a, and ob2.b, ob2.c and ob2.d. And now I want to call all the methods print, display, and show. Okay, so using ob1 print 1 dot show ob1 dot display, and the same thing I want to do with ob2 also. So now, can anyone tell me what will be the output of this program?
सर एरर आएगी.
Error आएगी. Okay, Jatin is saying we will get an error. What about others? How many of you are saying that
Sir,
we will
code-
get an error?
कोड नीचे करिए ना सर.
Okay.
हाँ कोड नीचे करिए. सर ऑब्जेक्ट किसका क्रिएट किया है?
ऑब्जेक्ट मैंने क्लास बी और क्लास सी का किया है. आई एम हैविंग टू ऑब्जेक्ट्स ऑफ क्लास बी एंड सी. Then I'm trying to access all the variables using ob1, and again I'm trying to access all the variables using ob2. Similarly, I want to access all the methods, so that also I'm doing using ob1 and ob2.
एरर ही आएगी ना.
Okay, so how many of you are agree with this answer? Jatin and Rusi is saying we will get an error.
Error.
Okay, you are mostly all are saying we will get an error. Let's see. So finally आपको जावा में कुछ पता चल गया है, and I am getting an error. See, I cannot access the variable d using ob1. Similarly, I cannot access variable c using ob2. Same way for the methods. I cannot access show method with ob1. I cannot access display method using ob2. Fine. So it is very simple. I can simply say that, see, I have created object of class B and class C. So using the object of class C, I cannot access any properties of class B because class C doesn't extend B. तो अभी class C का जो object है, वो object से मुझे C और display method कभी भी access नहीं होगी. Are you getting me? तो ob2 से मैं जब C की try कर रहा हूँ C print करने के लिए, that is also not a valid way. And similarly, you can see this display method. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so now to resolve this error, what can I do? Can anyone tell me?
Multi-level inheritance.
CX.
OB
No,
हटा.
using I'm not asking about multi-level. Using hierarchical inheritance only I want to do it. But straightforward, you can see I cannot access any properties of class B into class C. Are you getting me? Or is it possible?
तो सर उसका ऑब्जेक्ट हटाना पड़ेगा ना आप.
Correct. So if I want to access the properties of class B, then using inheritance only I cannot do it. Using hierarchical inheritance I cannot do it, but I need to create object of class B. But here, as we are discussing hierarchical inheritance, I can say that if you want to access the properties of class A into class B and into class C, then what should I do? Here, what kind of changes are needed now?
सर OB1 से C हटाना होगा और OB2 से D शायद.
Okay, ob1 is the object of class B. Yeah, so using that object, I can access variables A, B, and C and print and display. Fine, see. Class B का जो object है, that is ob1. And here you can see class B extends class A. So using this object ob1, I can access all the properties of class B and all the properties of class A.
सॉरी
you
सर,
can
फिर
you can
OB1
see
से D
variables,
हटे.
correct, A, B and C and print and display that I can access, but I cannot access D and so. Is it fine?
Yes sir.
Yeah, so using OB1 I cannot access variable D and so that I need to remove OB1 dot D. Let me put it in comment, and OB1 dot so. Similarly, second object is OB2 which is of class C. तो अभी यहाँ पे class C extends class A. So using object of class C, I can access all the properties of class C as well as all the properties of class A. So I can access D, I can access so, I can access AB, and I can access print. But I cannot access any properties of class B. So I need to remove variable C and display method. So ob2.c that we need to put in comment, and display method we need to put in comment. Is it fine?
Yes sir.
Correct. Now let me compile this file. Now we should not get any error. So you can see it works fine. And now we will
Sir Java.
it's Java. So you can see now I'm getting 10, 20, 30 with OB1 and 10, 20, 40 using OB2. And similarly, I'm able to access the appropriate methods. Print is called, display is called, here print is called, and so is called. So this is known as a kind of hierarchical inheritance. Any doubt in this?
No sir.
No, sir.
And now the last one, let me save this file with hybrid. Hybrid inheritance, fine. And let me remove this. So as you know, for hybrid you can combine any two types. If I do like this, let me go with multi-level first, like this, and then we will club it to hierarchical. So if I can do like this, then this is an example of hybrid. Fine, this is known as hybrid. So same thing we will do. Here it will be class A, here let's say it is B, here it is C, and here it is D and E. So what we will do, we will try to access the properties from class A into class B, then from class B to class C, and from class C to class D and E. So using the object of class D, I can access all the properties except E. Similarly, using the object of class E, I can access all the properties except D. Is it fine? Are you getting me what I'm trying to convey?
Yes sir.
Great. So same example we will try to implement. So now let me go with 3 and 2, 5 classes.
सर एग्जाम्पल नहीं भी दोगे तो भी पता चल जाएगा.
Yeah, so is it fine for everyone? Then I can say I've completed the entire topic, which is inheritance. If you want example, then I can go with that.
Sir.
Yes.
No, sir, example then.
Doubt.
Bolo, what is the doubt?
એટલે સર આ હાઇબ્રિડ તો ખબર પડી ગઈ, એટલે કેમ કરવાનું તમે એક્ઝામ્પલ નો દો તોય ચાલે, બટ જેમ કે આપણે ક્લાસ A છે એમાં અને બીજો ક્લાસ આપણે B બનાવીએ તો આપણે એક્સટેન્ડ A કરીએ B માં તો આપણે B માંથી A ની આપણે પ્રોપર્ટીઝ આપણે શું કહેવાય પ્રિન્ટ કરાવી શકીએ.
Yes.
બટ આપણે ક્લાસ A માંથી B ની કરાવી શકીએ?
No. If you do like class B extends A, in that case reverse you cannot do. But as Jatin was saying, if I write class A extends B, in that case you can do it. You can access properties of superclass only. Are you getting me?
Okay,
See,
yes sir.
If I write class B extends class A, What does it mean? I can access all the properties of class A into class B. Because class A is the superclass and class B is the subclass. So I can access all the properties of superclass into subclass. But I cannot do like this. From class B, I cannot access any properties in A. This is not possible. To do that, you need to write like this. In that case, you can write class A extends class B. Then it is possible. Fine. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So someone was saying you need an example also. So now quickly let me do it. Within 2 minutes we can do that. So I will define 5 classes. Class A, class B, class C, class D, and class E. Yeah. So now what we will do? First we will implement multi-level for class A, B, and C. So let me do that thing. So yeah, who will tell me to achieve multi-level for class A, B, and C? What should I do?
Sir, class B extends A, class C extends B. Similarly, D extends C.
So by doing this, I can say I have applied multi-level inheritance for class A, class B, and class C. So I can access all the properties of class A into class B. Similarly, I can access all the properties of class B into class C. And as it is having multi-level, straight away I can access the properties of class A into class C also, because chain is there. Class C is going to look for class B. Similarly, B is looking for class A. So from class A also I can access the properties in class C. Now what we want, from class C I want to access the properties in D, and again from C I want to access the properties in E. So D and E must extend C. Are you getting me? So I should write class D extends class C, and here also I should write class E extends class C. Any doubt in this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, great. So now let me define few properties in both the classes. So let's say integer is 50, and let me go with one method, public void print 1. Let us put system dot out dot println print 1 is called. And same thing let me do in this class also. Let's say it is print 2, and this is also print 2. So now this entire example is known as hybrid, because we are combining two types of inheritance. For first 3 classes you can see multi-level inheritance is there, and if you look at this one from this, then it is hierarchical. From class C I am getting the properties in class D and in class E, so it is hierarchical also, and I am combining both. So now the entire type or entire program is known as hybrid. So now if you look at this figure, then see, by creating object of class D only I can access all the properties of A, B, C, and D except E. So that thing we are going to do. So what I will do, I will create the object of class D, and I will create the object of class E. So now I can say using OB I can access all the properties of all the classes, but I cannot access the properties of class E. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So other than E, we will try to access all the properties using that same object. So using OB only, what we will do, system.out.println OB dot, I can print A, B, then C and C, D and E. I cannot access F. That's the only constraint. I'm trying to print the values of all the variables A, B, C, D and E, but I cannot access variable F as it is defined in class E, and you can see class D and class E is not having any relationship, so I cannot access that property. Now same thing, let me call all the methods. So OB dot, say I can call print method, I can call display, I can call show, I can call print1, but I cannot access print2. So other than print2, I can access all the properties. So one is print, then display, show and print1. Okay. ob.print, print1, show and ob.display. So I have done everything with ob. Same thing I can do with ob1. So for that, what I can do, ob1 is the object of class E, and class E and class D is not having any relationship. So other than E and print1, I can access everything using the object of class E. I cannot display E, so that I need to remove. So I can write ob1.a, ob1.b, ob1.c, ob1.e and ob1.f. Instead of E, I can access F. Similarly, I cannot access the method of class D, which is print1. Other than print1, I can access all the methods. So other than print1, let me go with print2 and let us change the object. That's it. I'm done. Tell me if you have any doubts so far, otherwise we will execute this file.
No, sir, no doubts.
Okay, great. Now let me run this file. Java C, hybrid inheritance. Oh my god. I think bracket I have removed from.
अरे सर सेमीकोलन
Where?
ऊपर ऊपर
अब બધામાં સેમીકોલન નથી.
सब में
Oh,
मारना
yeah.
पड़ेंगे ना?
Yeah. Why I have done that mistake? I am surprised. Copy किया ना इसलिए, yeah. So this is the very good advantage of copying the things. If we do mistake in one statement, then that mistake will be repeated everywhere. So now it is fine, and let me just run this file. So you can see 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Similarly 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So using both the objects, I can access the properties and I'm able to access the methods also. What was the value in F? Okay, it was also 50, that's why. Let's say it is 60. Now you can see the difference. Using first object, I cannot access 60, and using second object, I cannot access 50. Here I cannot access print1 is where? Print1, it was D. Why I am not getting print1? Print1 object of class D, which is OB. So OB dot. Okay, we have not accessed the properties. अभी मैंने वो कॉल ही नहीं की है. OB से भी मैं कॉल कर सकता हूँ ना? Are you getting me? What problem I'm getting?
Yes sir.
Yes.
OB का
Yes.
बनाया नहीं.
ओबी का जो ऑब्जेक्ट है वो क्लास
कॉल करता है।
करेक्ट. सो क्लास डी का ऑब्जेक्ट है अभी ओबी. सो यूजिंग दैट ऑब्जेक्ट other than this method which is print2, I can access all the methods which is print1, show, display and print. So I can write ob.print print1 display and ob.show. It is not compulsory to do this, but for explanation only I am doing it. Otherwise, if you access any one or two properties, then also you can say you have implemented hybrid. It is not needed that methods must be there, variables must be there. Even though if you access any single property, then also you can say this is an inheritance. So now you can say I'm getting all the methods also. So using OB, I am not able to access print2, and using OB1, I am not able to access print1. Fine. So to explain any types of inheritance, it is not that whatever I have explained you need to do in the same way. It is up to you. You don't need to implement these things. If you remove the methods, let's say I'm removing it. So simply you can demonstrate to print the value of these variables. Everywhere you can print the values. So it is up to you. But if you have more number of properties, then you can understand easily. That's why I was giving more properties in all the classes. Otherwise, only one or two methods will work. Any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Great. Then I have completed the entire concept of inheritance. So now, as we have completed inheritance, now we can go with many good concepts. Like now we can complete use of super keyword, then static and final keyword with class, with methods. So in the upcoming sessions, we are going to discuss those parts. And so that's it for today. Tell me if you have any doubt. Otherwise, you can join the next session.
सर अगर मैं ए और बी को इनहेरिट कर रहा हूँ और फिर बी
Sorry?
को सी से कर रहा हूँ, एक सर फोटो भेजा है मैंने चैट में.
Okay, just a minute. No, still I have not. Personally, did you send it personally or
नहीं
in the
सर,
chat only?
ये इसमें चैट में भेजा.
सर मैं समझ गया वो क्या बोलना चाहता है. वो ऐसा बोलना चाहता है कि